Elizabeth Halsey was not your typical teacher. On her first day of class, she played R-rated movies while she napped at her desk. The next day, she munched on snacks and continued screening inappropriate films. For an entire week, the students essentially watched TV for class, with Elizabeth showing no interest in actual teaching. Occasionally, she would sneak out a hidden container from her drawer. The moment someone walked by, she would spring up and pretend to be teaching. It didn't take long for word of Elizabeth's unconventional teaching methods to reach the principal. The principal was skeptical, but allowed the explanation to slide when Elizabeth noticed his dolphin-themed office decor.
I love it! You know, I've always said that dolphins are the humans of the sea.
Flattered, the principal shared his prized dolphin memorabilia, promptly forgetting about the complaints. However, parents began to express doubts about Elizabeth's teaching methods. At a parent meeting, she skillfully charmed them, claiming that children's progress requires everyone's cooperation. One parent, moved by her speech, discreetly handed her a bribe, prompting others to follow suit. With the money piling up, Elizabeth delivered on her promise to teach by replacing the movies with other teachers' online lessons, enjoying the simplicity of earning money while putting in minimal effort. Things changed when a new teacher, Scott Delacourt, joined the school. Handsome and wealthy, Scott immediately caught Elizabeth's eye. Learning that Scott was a millionaire's heir and newly single, Elizabeth saw him as her golden ticket. Unfortunately, Scott was drawn to kind-hearted women, making Elizabeth feel inadequate. Determined to win him over, she visited a plastic surgeon to inquire about breast augmentation. When told the procedure would cost $10,000, she grew desperate to find the money. When her students invited her to help at a weekend car wash fundraiser, initially uninterested.
Last year's car wash raised $6,000.
Whoa!
On the day of the car wash, Elizabeth arrived dressed provocatively, attracting a massive crowd and raking in cash. However, she secretly pocketed the funds. Amy Squirrel, her overly eager colleague, noticed and planned to report her to the principal. Interrupting him during a bathroom break, Amy confronted the principal about Elizabeth's theft. However, the principal dismissed her concerns, praising Elizabeth's rapport with parents and suggesting Amy learn from her. Despite her schemes, Elizabeth still struggled to raise the $10,000 needed for surgery. She resorted to collecting recyclables after school but found the progress painfully slow. One day, she overheard that the school awarded a $5,700 bonus to the teacher whose class scored highest.
Maybe you'll win the bonus.
How much?
$5,700. Son of a...
God damn it, Lynn!
Inspired, Elizabeth resolved to turn her students into top performers. For the first time, Elizabeth arrived to class on time, prepared with study materials.
Where's the TV?
Because she's a crybaby? Get out. We're here to learn.
Her strict teaching methods left the students in awe, but with only 2 weeks left before the exams, they had an entire book to cover. After 3 days of cramming, tests revealed dismal results. Not a single student passed. Elizabeth was furious and frustrated, nearly giving up hope. Meanwhile, Elizabeth's pursuit of Scott hit a snag when he grew closer to Amy. From her students, Amy learned that Elizabeth regularly snorted powdered sugar, spreading rumors about her drug use. When Amy reported this to the principal, he dismissed her yet again. A fellow dolphin enthusiast couldn't possibly be a drug addict, he insisted, before ordering Amy out of his office. Realizing her students wouldn't improve in time, Elizabeth decided to cheat. She tracked down Carl, the official responsible for securing the state exams, and posed as a journalist to gain his trust. Charming him with drinks and flirtation, she laced his drink with a sedative and stole the answer keys while he was unconscious. On test day, Elizabeth's students performed exceptionally, earning the highest scores in the state. At the awards ceremony, she proudly accepted the bonus from the principal. With the money in hand, she immediately scheduled her surgery. However, her vindictive nature led her to seek revenge on Amy. Knowing the school had a field trip the next day, Elizabeth smeared a desk apple with allergy medication and left it on Amy's desk. Oblivious, Amy ate the apple and broke out in hives, forcing her to miss the trip. While Elizabeth and Scott enjoyed their time on the field trip, Amy seized the opportunity to switch desks with Elizabeth. She hired a locksmith under the pretense of losing her keys and opened Elizabeth's drawer, discovering torn copies of the stolen exam. Amy contacted Carl, who confirmed Elizabeth's identity as the journalist who had seduced him. Armed with this evidence, Amy stormed into the principal's office, demanding Elizabeth's dismissal and a full investigation. The principal reluctantly agreed to involve the education board. Principal, though initially hesitant, agrees to look into the matter. Amy is elated, believing she finally has solid evidence to expose Elizabeth. Later that evening, Amy confronts Elizabeth. Meanwhile, during the school trip, Elizabeth and Scott grow closer. They talk, and the conversation takes an intimate turn. Seizing the opportunity, Elizabeth uses Scott's phone to send a message to Amy. After leaving the room, she encounters Russell Geddes, the gym teacher. The brief interaction hints at Russell's growing feelings for Elizabeth. The next day, Elizabeth and Russell share a candid conversation. However, the calm is disrupted when Amy arrives and publicly confronts Elizabeth in front of the teachers and students. Later, back at home, she hands the incriminating photos of Carl taken during their encounter to her roommate. She blackmailed Carl with compromising photos she had taken during their encounter, forcing him to retract his statements. When the board investigated, Carl claimed he didn't know Elizabeth, leaving Amy furious. In a desperate move, Amy accused Elizabeth of drug use, but when police searched the classrooms, they found the powdered sugar in Amy's desk, a result of the desk swap. Amy was arrested, and Elizabeth walked away unscathed. With her focus now on teaching, Elizabeth began to genuinely help her students, improving their grades and her reputation. She even discovered true love with the gym teacher, Russell Geddes. Despite his lack of wealth or conventional attractiveness, Russell's sincerity won her over. In the end, Elizabeth realized that mutual respect and genuine connection mattered far more than material wealth or appearances.